I want you to picture something with me. Somewhere out there, right now, there is a government office holding on to $30 billion that belongs to people exactly like you and me. Not hypothetically, actually, sitting there, unclaimed, every single year. And before you ask, no, I haven't been drinking. And no, this isn't one of those videos where I try to sell you a gold coin at the end. This is just the truth. And the truth is that most of us over 60 are leaving money on the table because nobody sends you a nice letter that says, "Congratulations, you now qualify for free things." You have to go looking for it yourself. So today, I did the looking for you. Grab your tea, get comfortable, and let's talk about the free stuff that nobody tells you about. Hello and welcome back to Connie After 60, where we talk about money, travel, and living well without pretending. We all have a pension the size of a small country's budget. I'm Connie, I'm from Cork, I'm careful with the euro, and I have spent an embarrassing number of hours this week reading government websites so you don't have to. Here's the thing about turning 60, 62, or 65. Nobody hands you a welcome packet. There's no balloon. There's no nice young man at the door with a clipboard saying, "Congratulations, here are the 11 programs you now qualify for." You just quietly age into eligibility for things, and unless you go digging, you'll never know they existed. So that's what we're doing today. 2 big categories. First, the travel and everyday discounts that can save you real money without asking permission from anybody. Second, the bigger one, the actual government programs, the kind of help that can be worth thousands of dollars a year, sitting there waiting for someone to fill out a form. Let's start with the fun stuff. Here's something that annoys me. There is no single age where the discounts kick in. It's not like a light switches on at 60 and suddenly everything is cheaper. It's a patchwork, and the businesses are not exactly shouting about it from the rooftops. Let's start with AARP, because if you're not a member yet and you're over 50, I want you to pause this video, join, and come back. It costs around $16 a year, and it will pay for itself the very first time you book a hotel room. AARP has negotiated rates with Marriott, Hilton, and Wyndham that often beat what the hotel calls its own senior rate. And car rental companies like Avis and Hertz will knock 20 to 35% off through an AARP membership. $16 a year for that? That's not a discount. That's basically a heist, and I mean that as a compliment. Now, national parks. If you are 62 or older, there is a lifetime pass called the the Beautiful Senior Pass. It costs $80, one time ever, and it gets you into more than 2,000 federal recreation sites for the rest of your life, plus half off camping fees. Visit 2 parks a year, and it's already paid for itself. If you happen to have one of the old Golden Age passports from before 2017, hang on to it. Those were free and they're still valid, so do not go buying a new one by mistake. Hotels are their own maze, and the ages genuinely make no sense. Choice. Hotels, that's your Comfort Inn, Quality Inn, and Econo Lodge, start their senior rate at 60. Best Western starts at 55. Marriott waits until you're 62. My advice, and I say this with love, is to simply ask every single time, at every single hotel, regardless of what the website says. The person at the front desk usually knows more than the website does. Trains and buses. Amtrak gives 10% off to travelers 65 and older on most routes, though if you're crossing the border into Canada, that threshold quietly drops to 60. Greyhound gives 5% off at 62. None of this is going to make you rich, but it adds up over a year of trips, and it costs you nothing but the word senior at the ticket counter. And cruises, the big lines, your Carnival, your Royal Caribbean, your Celebrity, regularly run senior and AARP promotions, sometimes with onboard credit worth up to $100. If you really want value, look at what's called a repositioning cruise. When a ship is moving from one region to another at the end of a season, those tend to have the best senior pricing of the entire year because the cruise line just wants the ship full. The golden rule for absolutely all of this, and I cannot say it enough, always ask. Restaurants almost never post their senior discount on the menu. It's not because they're hiding it out of malice. It's because corporate doesn't want younger customers feeling left out. So you have to ask the question out loud. Every time like you're placing a slightly cheeky order. My sister Mare rang me while I was writing this, and naturally she had opinions. She said, and I quote, "Connie, I've been getting the senior discount at the cinema for 4 years, and I only found out because the girl at the till told me by accident." 4 years, ladies and gentlemen. That's not a discount, she claimed. That's a discount she was owed and nobody told her about. Mare has many talents. Reading the fine print on anything is not one of them. So consider this your gentle nudge. Ask the question, even if you feel a bit silly asking it. The worst they can say is no, and the best they can say is yes. That'll be $4 less. Before we get to the big money, a quick round of the smaller stuff, because it adds up faster than you'd think. Many restaurant chains quietly discount for anyone 55 and up. Chili's, IHOP, El Pollo Loco, and others all have some version of a senior rate or a senior menu, and the age cutoff changes depending on which location you happen to walk into. Museums, theaters, and local attractions frequently give 10 to 20% off, starting at 55 or 60. Broadway and off-Broadway shows have discount programs through something called the Theater Development Fund. And if you're on a limited income, there's a program called Lifeline that can knock $9.25 off your phone bill every single month, which doesn't sound like much until you realize that's over $100 a year for making one phone call. None of these individually will change your life. All of them together, over a year, quietly buy you a very nice dinner out, or several nice dinners if you're a light eater, like my sister claims to be, and absolutely is not. Right? Cup of tea topped up? Good. This is the part of the video that actually matters, because we're not talking about a discount on a hotel room anymore. We're talking about programs that can be worth thousands of dollars a year, and the reason so few people use them isn't that they're hard to qualify for. It's that nobody explains them in plain English. So let's fix that. First, Medicare savings programs. If you're on Medicare and paying that Part B premium out of your own pocket every month, a Medicare savings program can cover some or all of it, depending on your income. There are a few tiers with alphabet soup names, but you don't need to memorize them. You just need to call your state's Medicaid office and say, "I'd like to apply for a Medicare savings program," and let them sort out which tier fits you. Second, extra help, sometimes called the low-income subsidy. This one helps cover your prescription drug costs, and for people who qualify, it can reduce annual drug spending by $5,000 to $7,000. Read that again. $7,000 a year on medication you're already taking. The Social Security Administration automatically enrolls some people, but plenty of others have to apply themselves, so it's worth checking even if you assume you already have it. Third, SNAP, which most of us grew up calling food stamps. For senior households, it averages around $140 a month toward groceries, and here's the part people don't realize. Owning your home does not disqualify you, and medical expenses can actually be deducted from your income when they calculate what you qualify for. Nationally, fewer than a third of eligible older adults are actually enrolled. That's not because 2/3 of seniors don't need help with groceries. It's because 2/3 of seniors have never been told they qualify. Fourth, LIHEAP, the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. This one helps with your heating and cooling bills, and in most areas, being 60 or older moves you toward the front of the line. Apply before the heavy heating season starts, because some of these funds run out. Fifth, Supplemental Security Income, or SSI. This is separate from your regular Social Security check, and here's the myth I want to bust right now. Receiving Social Security does not automatically disqualify you from SSI. If your income and resources are limited enough, you may qualify for both at the same time, and the maximum federal SSI payment is just under $1,000 a month for an individual. And finally, property tax relief. This one varies enormously by state and county, so I can't give you one number that applies to everybody, but nearly every county in the country has some kind of senior exemption, freeze, or deferral program, and it usually requires nothing more than a single phone call to your county assessor's office and one application. It is not automatic. Nobody applies it for you. You have to ask. And speaking of things nobody applies for you, I have a confession. For 3 years, I paid for a travel insurance add-on I never used because I was too embarrassed to cancel it after signing up in a slight panic before a trip to Lisbon. 3 years, I could have flown to Lisbon again with what I wasted. So if there's a lesson buried in that story, other than Connie occasionally makes questionable decisions under pressure, it's this. Check what you're actually paying for, the same way you'd check what you're entitled to receive. It works both directions. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This all sounds wonderful, Connie, but where do I actually start? Because 6 different programs with 6 different offices sounds like a part-time job I didn't apply for. Fair. Here's your shortcut. There's a free tool called benefitscheckup.org run by the National Council on Aging, and you can put in your zip code, your age, and your income, and it will screen you against dozens of federal and state programs at once, rather than you hunting through 6 separate websites. It costs nothing and takes about 10 minutes. If you'd rather talk to an actual human, look up your local area agency on aging. Every region in the country has one. They're free, and their entire job is helping people your age find and apply for exactly this kind of assistance. If you're a veteran, your county veteran service officer will do a full benefits review for you at no charge, and they are very good at finding money you didn't know you'd earned. One last thing, and I say this because I love you and I don't want anyone taking advantage of you. Every single one of these programs is free to apply for. If anyone calls, texts, or emails you about an unclaimed senior benefit and asks for a processing fee or your bank details up front, hang up. That's not a benefit, that's a scam wearing a benefit's clothing. So there you have it. From an $80 National Parks pass that lasts the rest of your life, to a phone call that might save you thousands of dollars a year on medication, most of this is simply waiting for you to ask. Nobody's going to chase you down with a form. You have to be the one who knocks. If you're the type who likes to keep track of exactly what's coming in and going out, and after this video, you might have a bit more coming in. Keep an eye on subscriptions and spending. That's it from me for today. Do your homework, ask the awkward question at the front desk, and don't leave money sitting in an office somewhere with your name quietly attached to it. I'm Connie. This has been Connie After 60, and I'll see you in the next one.